Let's talk about Azure Active Directory B2B and how it supports your organization and its ability to collaborate with other organizations. So what is B2B? Now, B2B is a simplified and streamlined process for us to connect to Azure AD environment with external environments. So you can now invite clients or partners and grant them access to resources within our environment. For example, let's say if you create an application like we did earlier in the previous lesson, and now you want to invite your client to access your application. Or let's say if you want to start doing certain work with them or maybe share workloads with external partners. So you need to give some kind of identity. Traditionally, you would create a new user account and grant them a password to the partner and let them access your application. But with B2B, you will have an additional layer of security, and then you would create a federated identity. With this way, you can grant partners access to your resources. Azure AD is a streamlined way of achieving this. You can invite the external users as a guest to your internal Active Directory. You can also configure a custom welcome message, including the terms of use. So external users need to sign the terms and accept your terms before they start using your resources. The advantage is that these invited accounts will also need to follow the security procedures that internal users follow. That means you're adding additional layer of protection such as multi-factor authentication and conditional access. Let's go to the process of inviting a new guest user. The process of inviting a new guest user remains the same. So I can just click on the new guest user button here and then make sure that the invite user radio button is selected. Then you can type the name of your partner and the email address of the partner. And that's all. You're ready to invite the account. Let's do that. Now let's say you want to invite Rob, and Rob's email address is rob@company.com. The first name is Rob, and say Evans. You can also put a custom personal message here. Hi Rob, let's get connected to the apps. Alright, so you can grant access through groups, assign role-based permissions, grant roles, and there are certain other features that were there for a regular user account. And then you click on invite. Within a few minutes, Rob should get an email with this custom message, and Rob then has to click on the hyperlink, accept the terms of usage, and Rob will then be part of the Active Directory environment in the cloud. You can search for the user just like the way you searched for an internal user, and there you go, you got Rob right here. But this is an invited user. You can resend the invitation because the invitation is not accepted, right? Now the attributes that you see here on the left hand side are the same as the ones that we see for a user. So you can now start assigning them roles, groups, and then access to applications as well. So we are treating an external account or a partner's account just like the way we treat Azure Active Directory account. So there is a relation between your tenant and the external partner that is created, and Microsoft manages that. There is a relationship that gets created between your tenant and the email address where the invitation was sent. You can look at these relationships by going into this organization relationship section, and you will be able to see all the users that were invited. Looks like Rob has not accepted the invitation, and hence we do not see in the list. But any external account would then be visible in this section under organization relationships. So Azure AD B2B is a fully online federation services, so you do not have to run your on-premise ADFS environment. Azure B2B will let you invite your guest users, partners, or external people whom you want to work with, grant access to them, to your applications, and also resources within the organization. On top of it, you get the security suite just like the way the internal users get. They will have the multi-factor authentication and conditional access.